It's different by the sea, a bit strange even. Just as the coast lies at the ends of England geographically, it's also at the edges of our society and the margins of our culture. The place where little England meets the wide, mysterious world beyond, which has always made it a site of eccentricity, transgression, colour and romance. What was I doing in this strange seaside town? It felt like I'd stumbled upon a little world complete in itself. The place was a mystery, a confusion of streets, the sublime cheek by jowl with the sordid and the ridiculous, seedy and eccentric and full of threadbare, worn-away dreams, sweetened by the poetry of the hazy blue horizon. I'd walk around with a dog like a private eye case in a mystery. I could never quite work the place out. Something about it just got its hooks into you. We were puzzled, intrigued, and now, somehow, we lived here. And now I wake up each morning to the gentle, brilliant light, the freshness of the sea air, noisy seagulls circling terrace roofs, lovely, lively, tatty little streets, peeling pinks and pastel blues, and shops full of beautiful junk. It ain't half hilly St Leonards. Little stairs with iron handrails and oversized Victorian gas lamps beckon you on up, which gives the place an almost Parisian feel, like fin de siècle Montmartre with its grubby and crumbling stucco. A certain rakishness gone rough and dodgy, rusty wrought iron curves with brown streaks that had leaked down the bone-white stucco of the elegant facades, like a classy old suit gone all moth-eaten and threadbare. Over the years, St Leonards acquired a stubborn reputation as the archetypal faded seaside town, the place where all the washed-out people wash up, glazed eyes staring out from 2,000 leagues under the sea, Rip Van Winkles guarding the seabed treasures of a dead man's chest. Heroin-addicted and decrepit Alistair Crowley died in a shabby boarding house here. The one story everyone knows about, the one story they tell you over and over again. Did you know Crowley put a curse on the town? If you live here, you can never leave, and if you did, you'd always come back. The fact I've been told this story by two natives who now live in London, and the fact that Crowley seemed very happy here, fond of it even, seems neither here nor there. People want to believe the curse story. They like it, because it seems to make sense of something harder to articulate. By the pebbly beach, a colossal crumbling Art Deco apartment block that looks like an ocean liner, a Titanic of the English seaside, totally unaware it was headed for an iceberg, and the slow sinking of the English seaside resort into its strange 50-year winter that only now seems to be thawing. The thing about the English seaside is it was leisure on an industrial scale, the leisure of the Industrial Revolution. When that mass leisure industry died, outsourced to Spain, it devastated these places as surely as steelworks relocating devastated big northern towns. Hastings was full of strange abandoned structures whose meaning had become obscured. Pissy tunnels a mile long, post-industrial ruins like Middlesbrough or Detroit. Only in this case, the industry was mass leisure. Down some little gaslit steps fit for Victorian murder, you find yourself in a little knot of streets with guitar shops, vintage clothes shops, all those colourful signs of life on the margins, like Camden or Brick Lane used to be before prices made this marginal activity untenable. A tantalising glimpse of that strange fragile flower that flourishes in the unkempt overgrowth, which quickly wilts in the glare of regeneration, success, money, prefers the stranger, shadier corners, needs the shadowy half-light from the lampshades of those dingy rooms. The America ground used to be a shanty town full of squatters living in shacks made of scrap metal and driftwood, outside the jurisdiction of the Hastings authorities. During the American Revolution, when the Crown tried to incorporate it and levy taxes, the people revolted, raised a star-spangled banner, declared themselves the 24th state. Inevitably, the troops marched in and flattened the place. But you still feel some echo of that old spirit, sticking two fingers up from its no-man's land. I found out later that our house, our street, had been moved from the America ground and reassembled brick by brick in St Leonards. Sometimes I felt I was living in a place that had been dreamt. When the sun gets low, making the fishing boats impossibly pretty in the luminous flat light, when all you can see is that boring, beautiful blue stretching out forever in space and time, I realise it isn't the vast inhuman blue that interests me. It's the liminal space of the shoreline, the Regency Terrace line, the fishing boat line, the slot machine line between the tiny world of man and the eternity beyond him. The strange, unlikely accretion of human activity that accumulates on this threshold, a membrane through which messages from beyond can pass like haunted curses, like somewhere on the shores of a dream.
Welcome to Psychic Sarah. Now I'm going to tell you about your destiny. Look into my eyes. 3, 2, 1. I am analysing your aura. Please wait a moment. Here comes your printout. I wish you the best of luck.
Psychic Sarah is like the sentinel gatekeeper to the old town. Its bookshops full of rambling second-hand piles on subjects like the tarot, ley lines, marijuana, shops selling crossbows and Norman armour, Gothic jewellery and models of dragons, with tasteful, expensive, minimal shops popping up worryingly here and there, and the feeling all the grotty enchanted stuff might vanish in a wisp of smoke and gentrification. Hastings has been called the occult capital of England. Crowley's old magical order, the Ordo Templi Orientis, still have their lodge here. Excitably, I googled it, even found their website. No address was given. But maybe it was better I couldn't find it, that it only existed idealised in my mind, mysterious, occluded behind veils, rather than shabby and a bit crap in the chipped stuccoed flesh. It was the same with the boarding house that Crowley died in, a rambling old Gothic pile called Netherwood. I couldn't find that either, because Netherwood no longer exists. In its day, it was apparently an intellectual guest house, run by a Mr. E.C. Vernon Simmons, actor, playwright, ex-alcoholic, and his wife, Johnny. Crowley got free board in exchange for the odd lecture on magic. He insisted on staying in room 13, seeing out his last days on a diet of boiled eggs and shots of heroin. Perplexed that the new age of life, liberty and light he prophesied had not yet reared its head. It was a revelation of love, he told one of his last interviewers, weeping. Just like the OTO's secret temple, Netherwood only existed in the world of myth and imagination for me. It became a marker on an imaginary map of Hastings that was forming in my mind. A dream town, a psychic town whose geography was entirely fantastical. How it'll all work out in the real place is anyone's guess. I can only tell you that from the very first visit, I felt the tidal pull of this town's strange magic, like I'd entered into some kind of contract, some kind of covenant with the place, and that on some sunny evenings, I wander around, feeling like I've found my raggy paradise.